Okay, so we're still in our print section, and idea number 10 is to pass them out door to door. Now this only works in selected areas, but in almost every community there are certain parts of town that have the right demographic that you're trying to attract, where you may have some success hiring a teenager to pass these out door to door. You've probably gotten flyers for, pizza or lawn service or other things that are the door hangers that actually attach on your door. So again, this is one of those situations where a more customized piece for that door-to-door purpose may be more appropriate. But test it out with the original newsletter and see what kind of a response that you get. So idea number 11 is to place your newsletters on car windshields, and I know that this strategy is really annoying to a lot of people. You've probably all experienced it, but it was worth putting on the list because you have experienced it. You have seen organizations do it, and even just the act of having to remove it, you definitely take a quick glance at what it is. So this is all about finding the right parking lots. So if there are senior centers or other parking lots that are attracting the type of demographic that you're after, you may want to try that with a limited test and see what kind of a response you get. All right, number 12 is also on the list, not necessarily because we recommend this idea, but just because we're trying to expose you to a lot of different ideas and kind of open up your thinking about how to use newsletters in more than the traditional U.S. mail way. So idea number 12 is to slip them into lockers. This is probably going to be at a health club, maybe at a school, but probably at a health club. And depending on how the lockers are created, you can usually fold these in half and slip them right in. Of course, a lot of people don't put locks on their lockers anymore, but nobody wants to know that you opened it and put something in there, so probably just sliding it in. Again, not because we recommend it, but really just because we're trying to open your thinking about other things you can do. And this is another great example where you want to keep a stack in your car, so that when you see that kind of an opportunity, you can just run and grab them and pass them out. All right, number 13. This is actually a really effective idea, but you want to do this with the building manager's permission. And I know some of you probably actively collaborate and visit certain senior centers on a regular basis. But clearly not everybody is going to be able to attend your presentation. So if you ask the building or the facility manager, would it be okay to slip these under the door, and that way everybody who's not able to attend can get some of the information that we're sharing? And if you phrase it that way to say, this is a service to people who were not able to attend, you may get the building manager to agree to allow you to put these underneath doors throughout the entire facility. All right, we're almost at the end of our print section. This is another one of those sneaky strategies, but it's a good kind of mind-opening strategy. So, all of those free newspaper and real estate guides where, you're walking along the street corner and there's those free boxes that you open up and you can take the local paper or take the local coupon book or real estate guide. One of the things you can do is actually intersperse your newsletters with some of those newspapers, real estate guides, those other free things. Again, this may be too large a piece to slip indiscriminately in there, but smaller pieces inserted into the newspapers and into the real estate guides can actually be very effective. So when somebody takes it home, they start browsing it, and your little flyer is just going to fall out of the middle of that item. So again, not necessarily like tops on the list, but kind of expand your horizon about other things that you can do with your content. Okay, so we're at number 15, and this one deals with inserting your newsletters into books at the bookstore or at the library. So if you go to the local Barnes & Noble or your local library and you're in the hearing care section, the types of books that people would check out if they were first experiencing a hearing loss or they were experiencing tinnitus and they were trying to get more information about it, you can actually insert your newsletters into those books at the library or at the bookstore. So if somebody checks out the book at the library, they're going to receive your newsletter right along with it. If somebody is, flipping through a book at the bookstore, they may choose to buy it or not buy it, but they can take your newsletter along. And if there's a bookstore that you like to go to, it's actually kind of fun to go back every couple weeks and see if your newsletter is still sitting inside that book or if somebody has taken it, and then you can replace it with a new one. So again, an idea to kind of expand your horizons about different things that you can do with your print newsletter. So that takes us about halfway through our 31 ideas for getting your newsletter out in front of more people, and that was actually the end of the print section. So it gives you some new ideas and new concepts for what to do with your physically printed newsletter. And again, you can do this with any newsletter, whether you create it yourself, order it from another company, or order it through us. One of the things that I would say about our Audiology newsletter service is that the newsletters are very eye-catching in full color. We have several different color options. Actually, let me go grab some of those. All right, I went to grab some of the other color options. I'm not sure how well these are going to come up on camera, but a couple different color options that are all really quite eye-catching. And they're actually very easy to reorder. So if you want to reorder 50 copies of the September issue, just shoot us an email. You want 50 copies of July, shoot us an email. So we try to make it easy for you to do small quantity orders. So as you test out some of these different marketing strategies, you're going to get a really good price on those small orders. And that can be one of the challenging things when you're trying to do it yourself. And of course, actually, often the most challenging thing when you're trying to do it yourself is actually getting it to the printer in the first place. So getting the content, getting it proofread, you're like, oh no, there was that one spelling mistake, now we got to reprint the whole thing. So all of these ideas can be used with any newsletter, but clearly if you never actually make it to the printer, then you're not going to have a printed piece to pursue any of these strategies. So thanks for hanging with us to the end, and we will see you in video number